A very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the Thursday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Speaking to a friend on the phone this morning, travelling in and around Aberdeen, and he was saying that Aberdeen city centre is gridlock due to snow this morning, and also he noticed some pretty big waves slamming against the coast as well. Of course, as the winds turn northeasterly, we are seeing snowfall, some pretty heavy snowfall and disruptive snow impacting the northeast of Scotland, and that is extending down the eastern side of the British Isles, all the way down to East Anglia. We could be talking about a covering of snow in some places, but this is the somewhat of an end game of the first cold spell, and then we've got a lot more cold to come next week with a bigger snow potential, I think. I say an end game because the area of high pressure over the Atlantic that's essentially shut down the westerlies, keeping the airflow coming from the north through the course of this week. That will eventually topple its way in, but it's not going to topple its way right over the UK. It's essentially going to start to sink kind of south, so it's kind of pushing into the southern half of the UK, and the result of that will be that slightly milder air associated with this area of high pressure will come around the top and chip away at the chill. So essentially, we are going to see some double figures potentially around Northern Ireland, the southwest of Scotland, the southwest of the UK as well overall. But this is a marginal moderation in temperature, just not quite as nippy as it has been, but certainly pretty much UK wide today. It is feeling cold out there, despite plenty of plenty of sunshine. We are going to see sub-zero wind chills when you're exposed to that northeasterly wind, and we do it all again tonight. Clear skies, lighter winds across central portions of the UK mean that we're going to see a widespread frost. Uh, on the east coast itself, we are going to be talking about more snow and the windy conditions, feeling very raw indeed in that wind. But as we push through the day tomorrow, you can see here off the GFS that area of high pressure, like I say, doesn't come right over the UK. It essentially sinks slightly further south, and the winds associated with the northern flank of the high will bring westerly air back into the UK. So, like I say, it pulls back the temperature somewhat from the cool levels that we've seen through the course of this week. Conditions easing across the UK, precipitation predominantly turning the rain away from the highest hilltops. As we push through this weekend, we maintain a relatively mild theme. I say relatively because it's not going to exactly be a warm up in the true sense of the word. And then as we go into the early part of next week, we do it all over again. The area of high pressure never really reaches the UK, and what we're going to do is we're going to start to see this area of high pressure pull back and allow a system to come in the wake of that system during the day on Monday. That is when the floodgates of Arctic air once again open up again. So we've got the system coming in over the top of the ridge, that ridge of high pressure centred now, instead of it being off the coast of Ireland, it's now over the south of France. That allows this area of low pressure to come through. You think the weather pattern's starting to resume a more normal setup. No, it isn't. It's going to return to a colder theme once again. And I think we could be talking about a much colder theme next week compared to what we've seen this week. And I think everywhere has a good chance of seeing frozen precipitation. So by the time we get out to the middle part of next week, you can see here this area of low pressure boundary between milder air and very cold Arctic air. As that system pushes through, we could be talking about heavy snowfall, not just across northern Scotland, but central Scotland. Look at this here. Very, very interesting what the GFS is indicating. It's a long way out, I know, but it certainly is looking very plausible indeed. And once that system pushes through, boy oh boy, we could be in some very, very cold air for a prolonged period of time. You can see here that northerly wind squeezing the isobars, high pressure to the west, low pressure to the east. Look at how tightly wound that area of low pressure is. On the cold side, we could be talking about a major snow event for places such as southern Scandinavia, Denmark, Germany, and the UK certainly under the gun of very, very cold northerly winds. This is looking like a very interesting pattern, folks. We'll wait and see what happens. We're talking nearly 10 days out from now, and a lot can change. But I'm very optimistic that this mild spell that we're seeing this weekend is only a blip in what is an overall colder pattern. So I'm going to close off from there. Hope you have a good Thursday, and I'll be back hopefully again during Saturday, hopefully. Bye for now.